Welcome everyone to the venue on 35th Street. How's everybody feeling? Good. That was decent, but I think we can do better than that. How's everybody feeling this evening? All right, so my name's George. I am the host of the open mic here and the event coordinator for the last 10 years. Marlon asked me to come up and tell you a little bit about this beautiful, beautiful space that we're sharing this evening. So, who make some noise if you remember Patty Ray? So Patty was the original owner of the venue. For years, she was a physical therapist by trade. She owned her own practice out in Smithfield for many, many years. And when retirement came around, she decided that she wanted to sell her practice and use some of that money to open up a theater where local artists could have a place where they could express themselves, hone their crafts, and where she could put on the plays that she had been writing for the majority of her life. So that's exactly what she did. So during the process of converting this over, this building actually used to be a laundromat. So even then it was a place of cleansing, right? So not a lot has changed in that regard. So while they were ripping out washing machines and dryers and running different types of plumbing and putting the stage in, a gentleman named Malcolm Powell, who still lives right up the street, comes strolling down 35th Street, poked his head in the building and said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" She said, "Well, we're building a theater." And he says, "You guys should do an open mic here." She says, "Well, you should host it." Just like that. And that's how the very first event at the venue was born, which is our open mic. It's our flagship event. And here it is, almost 16 years later. And we're still here, right? In that time, without, no melodrama, lives have been saved in this building, including my own. This is a very special place to many, many, many others. Marlon joined us and he launched what was then called Actors Open Stage. Yes, Actors Open Stage. It still runs and it is now known as Performers Playground to open up all of that information that we were sharing with our artistic community to everyone, not just actors. So once again, thank you all for coming out this evening. A quick reminder to please silence your cell phones if you have not already. And we are in for an amazing, amazing treat of an evening. I am so excited that our brother is back in town with us. For Marlon and for the venue, let's make some noise. This is Mending a Broken Heart, a tribute to the venue by Marlon Hargrave.
Oh, okay. All right. So I got thrown up here out of nowhere. I wasn't ready for this. When we planned, I have no speech written. I had no idea. James just told me to do this. So I'm going to, off the top of my head, I'm going to talk about Marlon. I have known Marlon over 25 years, I want to say. We go back. We're DC boys. I have a short amount of time, so I'm just going to tell a quick story about Marlon in terms of his work and who he is as a consummate professional. So there's a director's coach by the name of Judith Weston. She has coached many, many directors, many who have gone on to win Academy Awards. That's how good she is. She was my coach for a little while when I lived in LA. I can say my career changed because I studied under her. Fast forward many years, and I'm here in Virginia. I catch up with Marlon, my old friend, and I start coming to the venue. And I start listening to him teach, and I'm listening to the words that he's saying to his students, and it reminds me of the very same things that Judith taught me. So that is the consummate professional that Marlon is. And anyone who's ever studied with him, anyone who's ever taken any class with him knows that as well. If you ever considered it, know that he is by far an absolute genius. And he is also one hell of a very, very good friend. I have known him for years. My girlfriend, she says, "God, I finally get to meet this guy because I always talk about repeatedly." I am overjoyed to be here and overjoyed to see him. He is a very funny dude, charismatic dude. Me and Marlon fighting sometimes, but that's another story. All in love. We go back, we're DC boys, man, and we go back and we own the DC thing, and we love our home city, and we'll never stop loving that. I think we will always have that love. So Yeah, Marlon, love you, homie. That's my man. That's all I can say. That's my man. I love him to death, and you guys gonna enjoy this. I promise you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
A fox whose lofty brow and soft-willed chin, whose eyes of piercing brown, arouse my curiosity. Do you mind if I sit down and share this bench with you?
This bench is public property. I couldn't stop you if I wanted to.
Well, let me get out my money and will $5 be sufficient for your needs? It's my largest bill.
You take pride in your generosity. Donors often will. But I wouldn't rent my time for any less. Don't think I'm being wry.
I hope I haven't offended you. I certainly didn't try to be arrogant or presumptuous.
Never mind. I'm happy with the 5. Besides, I knew you'd come around.
But do we know each other from before? You do seem eerily familiar.
No, I don't think we've ever met. Yet, I sense that we're similar. As we watch the burning sun sink into the bay, I think you want to hear the tale of how I am this way. A broken, dying old man who outlived all his promise.
Oh, no, I didn't think that.
No need for feigned denial, my friend. I understand your bias, but you perhaps can understand what others may not, that sometimes to sacrifice in vain is the very best choice you've got.
Well, I don't think that I agree. Could you elaborate? What circumstances has you so dire to suffer such a fate? What mist is this that veils your eyes like a fog come from the sea?
I loved my darling Thesbia, but my Thesbia didn't love me. We met when I was 17, an eager, naive lad, and ardently she favored me. Her promises drove me mad. All with her I'd see and do what fame and fortune earn, as she, the mistress of the scene, caused my world to turn. And I would emerge like an evening star for all the world to see. Yet, within just a year or two, her eye passed over me, favoring rivals one after another with her extravagant affections. Well, I collapsed alone in my room, stricken by her rejections, sunk in a dungeon of emptiness when once my heart soared free. I love my darling Thesbia, but my Thesbia didn't love me.
No? But surely you came to your senses. Surely time dried up your tears.
Eventually, I became sensible and fattened with the years, much like you, my writer friend at academic mind, except still deep in memory, my romance lived, sublime. For around my 40th year, at a party for a friend, across the punch bowl, Thesbia appeared again. She had not aged a single day, showed no marks of woe. Her lips, soft as honeydew, eyes as sensuous as a dove's. "My darling, is that you?" She replied with no remorse. "Thesbia," was all I could reply. My voice had gone thin and hoarse. And from that day, she coddled me as if we'd never parted. She introduced me far and wide, and many relationships started with well-connected businessmen. She managed to enthrall with her cold, seductive flattery. She didn't mean it all. Or so she said when my feelings realest fits of jealousy. It's just a game of wits, my love. It's not reality. So, then, is your love for me a game? My doubts would seize control. She'd stroke my cheek and kiss my mouth without saying yes or no. And for 30 years, I've sacrificed all I could to her. For 30 years, I gave her all that I had. 30 years. And although she'd applaud my performances and sigh with rare delight, she would never commit to stay with me for more than just one night. I argued, I cried, I ran and I pleaded, but the truth was plain to see. I loved my darling Thesbia, but my Thesbia didn't love me.
You mean she abandoned you after 30 years? I can't disguise my shock.
It's true. She ceased to favor me, even though I'm welcoming her flock of delusionary worshipers who sacrifice their lives for no more than an approving smile and a bucket full of jive. And though I'm bitter and sometimes sad, I don't begrudge my fate, but continue to love for scant reward marking my discarded state. For when I close my eyes at night, well, my honor sets me free. I love my darling Thesbia, even though she never loved me.
But you failed to gain your heart's desire. To me, that's a tragedy.
Well, I wanted in youth, in age, I look at differently. What's most important are all the memories, not what I've gained or lost. To have loved my darling Thesbia, I think is worth the cost.
Well, I think that I should be on my way now that the sun is set. I'm happy that we've met, but I wish your melancholy tale had come to better end. And we could have shared more prosperous adventure if you had picked a better friend.
Love usually doesn't give us choice. Forgive my helpless grin, but to lose brings on an agony is as great as if we win. And whatever bench we find ourselves on to watch the setting sun, remember, my friend, all love is gold in a melting pot, whether we won or lost.
I heard about the venue, 35th Street, 2011, 2012. I had a little notoriety of like making beats and stuff in that area. And I did a song called Rosalie. I heard about the venue, 35th Street, 2011, 2012. I had a little notoriety of like making beats and stuff in that area. And I did a song called Rosalie. They loved it. And people were singing. And I did some stuff and I beatbox and it made like the energy shift. And I was like, you know what, man, let me play my beats. And people like, yo, let me have that one. And as I go through them, it will let people. I heard about the venue, 35th Street, 2011, 2012. I had a little notoriety of like making beats and stuff in that area. And I did a song called Rosalie. They loved it. And people were singing after it. And I did some stuff and I beatbox and it made like the energy shift And I was like, you know what, man? Let me play my beats. And people like, yo, let me add that one. And as I go through them, it will let people know, like, yo, you're the guy that made the beats. You're the guy that does the music. Then you gave that outlet, that opportunity to like really let a creative be artistic and thrive in that community as each person performs their piece from poetry, paintings. The venue gave us giving the performance etiquette. The things that helped me harness and hone my skills were two elements. That was as a performer, to get booked as a performer, as an individual brand, as me, myself, Torn Perkins or Big Torn. As I would perform, there would be a coach that would critique the performance etiquette. So I wanted to better my performance etiquette. I had to hone in how to look at the crowd, have eye contact, and talking and engaging, knowing the song structure of your song, knowing there is an intro in the beginning to not let it be dead space. And the performance etiquette was critiqued on that. Actors Open Stage. It was called Actors Open Stage with Marlon and Hargraves. Actors Open Stage came Performers Playground because it opened it up into another round. And so the Performers Playground was love, just true love, yo. Just $5. It was priceless. I took that time at the venue. Everything don't last. So when that energy is there, you need to capitalize. So the venue holds a special place in my heart because of the community, the unity, the networking, the connectivity, the insight, just a big part of those creative artistic needs. As a band leader, the venue was there to have a space for me to have rehearsal through an open mic there myself, like a trip to the past event. I had 2 birthday parties in there. It was just so much that I did in there that I'm just so grateful for. Thank you, the venue.
Oh, pardon me, that bleeding piece of dirt. That I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of time. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds, now do I prophesy, which, like dumb mouths, do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall come all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use. And dreadful objects so familiar that mothers shall but smile as they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. And all pity choke
with customs of Valdez, and sees his spirits rising for revenge. When I take by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines, with a monarch's voice cry, Havoc! And let slip the dogs of war. And this Valdez is not above the earth. We're carrying men groaning for burial.
Wait a second.
What's up, everybody? Jamal Sumner here. First, I want to say congrats, Marlon, on everything. You're the GOAT. You know that. On and on. This is about the venue, which it was a beautiful place. I used to go around, I think, 2014, 2015, around that time. I just moved to LA, and I went back and forth. LA, BVA, or whatever. And every time I perform, and I would be super nervous to perform. I mean, just because, performing for Marlon and, you know, my people back at home. So it was always
help face my fears. As crazy as that sounds, I would always be super crazy amount of stage fright.
But I really would perfect my craft there. So like from improv to, you know, all kinds of things. And I would really get inspired by all the actors that were going before me and after me. It was a really great playground, I would say. I was really, again, appreciative of it. I'm always appreciative of whatever Marlon does because I know it's going to help the masses. And yeah, what a time to be alive that was.
And I make rain is money green, honey. What do you care how I do it, sister, as long as it's done? But I tell y'all how I do it. I'll lift this stick and take a long swipe at the sky and let down a shower of hailstones, big as cantaloupes. I'll get out some good old Nebraska cuss words, and you'll turn around, and there's a lake where your car used to be. Or I'll just sing a little tune, maybe. And it sounds so sweet and so sad that you'll weep. That old man will weep. In the sky, it get all misty like and shed down the prettiest tears you ever just see. Now how I do it, girl, I'll just do it. Since the last place that I bought rain is now called Starbucks. They named it after me. Dry. Tell you those people didn't have enough depth to blink their eyes. So I got out my big wheel, and I got out my rolling drums, and I got out my yellow hat with 3 feathers in it. I look up at the sky and I say, Cumulus! Cumulus Nimbus! Nimbus Cumulus! Way up there in the sky, there's a little cloud, a little bigger than a man's tail. And over there, I see another cloud, looking like a whitewashed chicken house. Way, way, way up there in the sky, I see a herd of white buffalo stampeding over the clouds, and sister, brothers, down comes rain, rain in buckets, rain in barrels, filling the lowlands with bloody guns. And the land was as green as the valley of Adam. And when I rode past that, I saw all the pretty colors of the rainbow. Yeah, green, blue, orange, gold. Colors so pretty, they make you cry. And me? Well, y'all, I'm just riding that rainbow. So, how about it, y'all? We got a deal?
Many people may not know this, but I was Marlon's first roommate. He got tired of sharing a tiny space, so he asked me to leave. But he missed me so much that he chased me 3 minutes later. Marlon is accomplished in theatrical arts, but his greatest accomplishment Many people may not know this, but I was Marlon's first roommate. He got tired of sharing a tiny space, so he asked me to leave. But he missed me so much that he chased me 3 minutes later. Marlon is accomplished in theatrical arts, but his greatest accomplishments are as a father, mentor, and role model. Marlon has dealt with life's adversities head on. Things that would have broken most, you've used as motivation to improve your life and your health.
So on tonight, we salute you, Marlon. Here's to your past, present, and future. We love you, and we are so proud of you. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You know what Mom told me when she was packing to leave? That's right. You was at school. Motherfucker, you was at school. You got up that morning and sat in your regular place and read the cereal box while Dad read the sports section and Mom brought your dick toast. And then you got on that damn school bus because you didn't have enough sense to feel nothing else going on. You was so into your own shit that you didn't feel anything. Well, I went back because I felt something going on, man. I felt something changing. So I skipped school that day. She was just putting her stuff in bags. She had all them nice suitcases and was putting her stuff in bags. Packing up her shit. She told me to look out for you. I told her I was a little brother. And that's the big brother should look after the little brother. She just said it again. That I should look out for you. Yeah. So who's gonna look out for me? Not like you, kid. Here I am, interested in a financial opportunity, willing to work hard, willing to take risks, and all you can say, you shit-eating, motherfucking pathetic, lip-dick Uncle Tom. All you can tell me is how you don't do no more what I be wanting to do. Here I am, trying to earn a living, and you standing in my way. You standing in my way, Link.
My brother Marlon. And, well, what to say? I've known Marlon literally all of his life. He is my youngest brother, and I am the oldest. So we have a lot of memories, a lot of childhood memories, and a lot of adult memories, too. So Marlon is really an inspiration. One of the things that I really, really learned from Marlon is to never, ever give up on your dream. Never, ever abandon your purpose. Marlon has been through a lot of adversity, and Marlon could have given up, and Marlon could have quit. He could have decided to do something else, but he remained true to his passion. And to that end, this is why we are honoring Marlon today. Marlon, congratulations. I wish I was there. I love you, brother. Take care.
You are no saint. You got a free cab, a free room, and someone who listens to your boring stories. I mean, didn't you notice on the plane when you started talking? Eventually, I started reading the vomit bag. Didn't that give you some sort of clue, like, maybe this guy's not enjoying it? You know, everything is not an anecdote. You have to discriminate. You choose things that are funny, or interesting, or mildly amusing. You are a miracle. Your stories have none of that. They're not even amusing accidentally. Hey, like you meet Del Griffin. He's got some amusing anecdotes for you. And oh, here's a gun so you can blow your brains out. Well, you thank me for it. I can go to any insurance seminar, and for days I can sit there with a big smile on my face, and people will say, how do you do it? And I'll say, because I've been with Del Griffin. Oh, I can take anything. You know what they say? They say, oh, I know what you mean. The shower curtain ring guy. Wow. It's like going on a date with a chatty Cathy doll. I expect you to have a little string on your chest. You pull it in and it snaps back. Except I wouldn't pull it and snap it back. You would. And oh, by the way, the next time you're telling one of your little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much interesting for the listener.
Hi everybody. I'm wearing a real tight shirt right now. Notice I didn't get dressed up. Just want to say about Marlon. I've been calling him Hargrave for the last forever years, right? You know what I'm saying? Since I've known him. So it's totally wrong. I found out today it's Hargrave. That's all I can say is this guy made me, and when I say made me, I mean what God made me. But I'm saying this guy made me as a comedian, as an actor. I got my first job in the venue, well not here in the venue, getting ready for an audition. Because every Thursday we got the there you go. I always say the playhouse playground. I can't never remember how to say that, Jane. I've been going to it since 2017, but that's all right. The playground. We do this every Thursday. Amazing. I remember I would try to get jobs at a college. Free jobs. You don't even get paid for or whatever. I would go there and they wouldn't pick me for a free job. I couldn't get a free job. And I remember them telling me, when you walk in the audition, you're auditioning as soon as you pull up. You're in the audition immediately, okay? So I went to my first paid for VA, Virginia lottery, you know what I'm saying? And coming in this class every Thursday, man, I knew I had the job. I knew it. I had the job so well that they started asking me to do the other parts in the commercial, man. I knew I could do a big fat white dude. I can't do that. I'm like a big fat white dude, you know. So it was and I owe that to Marlon and James. My stand-up comedy. I mean, if y'all can see my stand-up comedy, it's phenomenal, by the way. And I do an impression of a pastor that's Prince and Michael Jackson, and I can thank Marlon for that. And Marlon, man, he used to come over to the house. Oh, I don't want to talk about too long. But I'm just saying, there's a lot about this venue. Marlon used to come over to my house, barely able to get upstairs, man, doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can see this man walking there. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? And he said that work with me on Dad, some Kirk Frankenstein, man. I mean, this guy helped me build my set. That's what I'm saying. Build my set. When nobody believed in me, Marlon Hargrave did. Marlon Hargrave believed in me. He helped me build me into who I am today as a stand-up comedian, as an actor. And I love this guy, man. So, I really enjoy what I'm saying. I'm glad he can walk, you know what I'm saying? If you look at the video I put on my Facebook, he did this right here. You know what I'm saying? So, this man doing more than walk. Listen, I saw him in Atlanta, came down to support me in Atlanta when I was doing a show out there. So, Marlon Hargrave. Hargrave. Love him very much.
She invites me to lay down on the couch. I choose not to. She holds up a white flashcard with a black ink blot and asks what I see. I say, gray? No, she says. I mean, what does this look like to you? I say, an amoeba. This frustrates her. I've been coming to her long enough to where I can tell. She huffs through her nose a bit, then turns her head slightly like she's just about to shake it in dismay, but catches herself. I can see the word smartass hanging off the tip of her tongue like a suicide jumper that had a change of heart. Something in her mouth catches it, sucks it back in like a spaghetti noodle. She makes a face like it tastes bad. All of this happens within a fraction of a second, but I picked up on it. I frustrate her a lot. And I feel bad about that, honestly, but I don't do it intentionally. I mean, insurance only covers so much, and I am not paying out of pocket to play mind games with a shrink. But I come here with questions, hoping to find answers, and instead, she just asks more questions. Now that's just counterproductive. And why do you think that is, George? How the fuck am I supposed to know why that is? That's why the fuck I pay you $129 an hour to figure out. But I don't say that out loud. I don't say much out loud, and that's why she gets frustrated. Maybe I should just let her read my notebooks and get back to me. But once she has masked her flicker of frustration, she starts again. She's so patient with her patience. She holds up another card and asks me again, George, really, what do you see? As I start to form yet another smart-ass answer, the corners of my mouth start creeping upwards. And like I said, I've been coming to her for quite some time, so although she may not know what I'm going to say, she knows she's not going to like it, and she is not having it. Before I can say anything at all, she forces the card down onto the desk and lets me have it. Enough, George, enough. I have exhausted myself with trying to help you, but not I, nor God, nor anyone else can help you if you don't want to help yourself. You've been coming to me for twice a week, for an hour, for the past 7 months, and we've made no progress whatsoever. I administered every test and conducted every evaluation ever developed in the field of mental health. I have employed every tool ever given to me in my 6 years of college education. I've called colleagues and asked for suggestions on ways to approach you. I'm administering a fucking ink blot test, for Christ's sakes, George. Do you have any idea of how outdated that is? She pauses, face flush, jaw muscles flex, lips pursed so tight they turn white. She huffs through her nose as though she's trying to siphon all the air out of the room in hopes that I might suffocate. She fixes her glasses, which have slightly shifted during her tempest smiles with false politeness, then leans back in her chair as if nothing happened. Now listen, okay? We both know this is bullshit. But I'm going to ask you one more time. So, human, what do you see? And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wow. And you think I might be bipolar. But I don't say that out loud. Instead, I say this. Well, when I do see through the tears, I see pain. I see heartache. I see love only briefly, then lose sight of it quick. I see loneliness so deep, it has an echo. I see the moon of my soul glowing pale, being bombarded by asteroids. I see my veins injected with trust from a dirty syringe. I see myself being spoon-fed hope laced with cyanide, and I gobble it up like an idiot. I see people who smile at me in the light, but their shadows have horns and cloven hooves, and I'm afraid of them. I see kick me signs on a pat on the back. I see joy buzzes and handshakes. I see people that would
help me up a mountain just to push me off a cliff. I see false motives and good intentions. I see resentment and rainbows. I see contempt in a bowl of ice cream. I am a cynical, sarcastic, bitter bastard. It's no wonder I'm alone, and I can't understand why you can't see that. If I'm not here or at home, if I'm not here or at work, I'm at home. Sitting by myself on my bed, thinking incessantly. My headboard has a mirror, and directly across from it, so does my dresser. So when I see my reflection, it just bounces back and forth indefinitely between the two panes of glass, making me smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, until the tunnel drags away my image wherever images get dragged to. I know I've been coming here twice a week for an hour for 7 months. And I know I keep asking you to help me, but I don't let you. I know. But I only left my house 40 hours a week before I started coming here. And for the past 7 months, you've made it 42. So, yeah, I dragged it out. And I refuse to give you a bone. Because these sessions twice a week are the only times I'm not alone. So there you go. That's what I see. And now that my hour's up, I'm still down, but thank you for your company.
So I discovered the venue back in 2012, and so I discovered the venue back in. I had been writing and creating for a good majority of my life, but during that particular period of my life, I had my life had gone into a really dark place. I had kind of gotten away from all of my artistic and creative endeavors, and I needed something. I didn't know exactly what I needed, but I knew I needed something. So I hopped online, I typed in open mics, and the venue on 35th Street was the very first thing to pop up. So I went to that open mic that Monday, January 16th, 2012. I would never forget that day. It changed my life. It saved my life. I can genuinely say I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the venue. Um, just a completely loving, caring, supportive environment. I found a love there that I wasn't getting somewhere else. And that's the love of art with your peers, you know what I mean? And when you're around other artists and other creatives, and you can't help but cultivate that energy of creativity, which just elevates you and elevates you into a better artist. But what I didn't realize was happening is that I was also becoming a better person, and I was healing some of the emotional wounds that had gone unaddressed for a really, really long time. It's been 10 years. I'm still there. And it's been a true, true blessing. There have been so many great and exciting memories that we've developed there. But more than incidents that happen are, or more importantly than incidents that happen, are people that you meet along the way. Sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you get to pick your family members. And that's exactly what happened at the venue. It's a very, very special place. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but that's the venue 35 and our and the coordinates to the building. Marlon, Dee Dee, James, Patty, all of those people have played such an instrumental part in who I am as an artist and, again, as a person. Venue forever. Thanks for this.
I've had all sorts of problems lately. I lost my job, my dog died, the taxes are always there. Did I tell you my dog died? And I got a horrible rash that I just better not talk about. Oh, and my bathtub randomly exploded. Exploded! Don't ask, I don't even know. It's like, I don't want to question the universe or anything, but that type of stuff just doesn't happen. It definitely ruined my day. Don't even get me started on the fact that's on social media nowadays. It's like the whole world is against me. Like I'm some fictional character or some writer to vent his anger out on to make himself feel better about himself. I don't know. Yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's the only thing I can compare it to. You know what? I'm being selfish. I'm over here telling you all about my problems, and I never asked you how your day was. So, how's life? Wait a minute, something's wrong. What the hell? I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself this whole time. Am I crazy? You know, come to think of it, I don't remember anything before saying I've had all sorts of problems. I don't remember how I got here. It's like my life started with that sentence and there was nothing before it. Wait a minute, I know I'm not crazy. Just make this make sense. All right, so where am I? I'm in some sort of room. Why do I feel so comfortable with talking to myself? Holy shit. There's people out here. Who's watching me? Maybe this is some kind of alien race who made me forget who I am and got me out here talking to myself like I'm somebody crazy. Hey, alien! You hear me? I see you out there. I know what you're doing. You're trying to freak me out so that I'll give you the name and location of the president and you can take over his mind and take over all of mankind. Well, guess what, alien scum? When you brainwashed me, you made me forget everything about the president too. Not so smart now, are you? Are you? Wait a minute. They don't look like aliens. Maybe maybe jumped the gun on that. So if I ask, maybe if I ask them what's going on, then I can figure out what happened. So, where am I and how did I get here? Just don't sit there looking at me, answer my question. Y'all are just staring at me. I mean, what do you want me to do? Trigger something? Y'all are staring at me like you're an audience. Oh shit. Oh, these people, this room, all those lights, and that hairdo. Oh, I know where I am. I know what this is. This is an audience, and I'm trapped in a monologue. No. Calm down. This is a monologue, and I have no doubt in my mind that it is. It's only a matter of time. As soon as that actor says cut, as soon as he says scene, it's all over for me. All right, just talk to him. He seems like a good guy, and we'll work this out. Hey, excuse me, actor. Whatever you do not say the word scene. Hey, if you do, it's all over for me. What? Are you listening to me? Do not say the word scene. If you do, I'm done. If you have any decency, you will not say that word. Please. Oh, God, I'm faithful. That means he's about to break character, and the scene's almost over. Hey, come on, man! Don't just end my life like this. You just can't bring somebody's life and then kill them in a matter of a few minutes. Just don't say the word. Please. Sing. Oh, man.
Mic check, 1, 2, and now. Hey. How y'all doing? Hey, girl. Good, I can't see nobody. In case you don't know me, I'm Shanadiah Nicole. I have been coming to the venue for about 10 years. I came in 2012. I was pregnant, so I was at the beginning of that pregnancy. And I was taking a class with Terrence Anderson at a historical church in Norfolk. And he said that we were going to have a graduation performance. It was going to be at a place called the Venue on 35th. And so, my first time on stage as well as being at the venue was during that graduation ceremony. So it wasn't a ceremony, it was like directions, it was exercises, it was monologues, it was work, but I went with it. And then a few months later, I did a play called Cheating Death, and I was really big at cast. Yeah, so there was a lot of us, like 10. It was 2 different one acts going on at a church in Portsmouth. But Marlon, that's when I met Marlon. Marlon was the director of that. Let me tell you something. When I took that class, which really was we were prepping to go, on stage and perform, I had got more education from that performance from him leading up to it than I had gotten in the classes previous. And that's no knock to anybody else who does, who teaches or has acting classes. However, Marlon taught me how to score a script, and scoring a script is half the battle, okay? And so, after I had the baby, sometime later I did the game. I've done a lot of shows. I worked with Marlon a lot. And we've even done bully plays at youth events, myself, Marlon, and Lamont Ferguson. And we've done a lot of shows together. So at some time later, he was at the Attics. I followed him to the Attics for 2 acting classes, and then came here for Actors Open Stage, then turned Performance Playground. I've been here ever since. And this was a stable place because, as you could tell, I move around a lot. From here, Newport News, Hampton, anywhere. And anywhere the art takes me is where I go. So this was a stable place. It was a place that cultivated me, elevated me, because the leaders here are talented, okay? And most of them have papers, and some deserve papers for what they do, you know? And he knows what I'm talking about. So nonetheless, it's the extreme talented here. So you're gonna elevate no matter what. And this place taught me to express myself because it let me, it let me express all 12 of my personalities. And only 2 of them had training, but the other personalities got the training during Actors Open Stage and Performance Playground. And then let's see. So between James and Marlon and and Lamont even, I've just been working, and that's where I was. I just wanted to chase my dreams, cultivate it, and wherever it goes, it goes. It was a great outlet from the children I had at home, because I had 4 of my own, and then my nephew I was taking care of at the time, so there was 5 children at home, ranging from 10 months to 12 at the time. So nonetheless, that was a lot. So I came here to let my anger out, let all the other personalities out. I know I'm taking a long time, but whatever. So, I wrote a little thing here. So some of my memories here, let me tell you something. There was word vendors here. There was the dojo that's here. Couple of popsicles for the children that are here. Besides Actors Open Stage, there's open mic here. I've been to almost every event. Book releases. If you got a book out there, let me hear you. Okay, all right, there you go. A lot of authors in the room. Nonetheless, so that's just the tip of the iceberg. But Marlon, I have been following Marlon around. We used to both be in pain because I suffered from migraines, and he had, I'm gonna say it that way, RA. And so we used to always be encouraging each other. Come on, let's go eat. Let's do this, let's do that. And we've been through he's literally closer than a brother. For real. I tell him, I can tell him anything, and I have. Nonetheless, so I've been up here for a long time, but I already told you all the reasons why this place is special to me, why Marlon is special to me, and why it will always be special to me. So, without further ado.
Is Shay to be buried in Christian burial when Shay willfully seeks her own salvation? How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense, it must be say off and endo, it cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself, it argues an act, and an act have 3 branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argo, she drowned herself wittingly. Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it's willy-nilly goes, marky that. But if the water go to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Although he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
You whisper intermission.
This is intermission right here. Hey, forgive me, I'm getting direction from somebody who was in Texas right now, so it's kind of crazy, but it's intermission time. Enjoy yourself.
It could be more entertaining than that. I know it.
With everybody, the lights on, people are yawning and standing up. How much time do we got? How much time do we got? What time is what? How much time do we get? 10 minutes? To come back? How long is the intermission for?
Intermission is 10 minutes.
Hi, Marlon. Thanks for asking me to be involved in this project. I'm going to and then there's what is my favorite memory. And I don't know if it's absolutely my favorite single memory, but it's the one that seems to swim to my mind the most. And that is one night happening here. Right into the questions, because I think that's the best way to serve helping people with the idea of what the venue has done for someone. Um, in terms of how did I hear about the venue and when I first started attending, I had started going to open mics in the winter of 2010 and just spitting out that couple of poems that I had with shaking hands. And I happened to be standing next to them when Pete Freeze, who used to run the open mic and venue list for Hampton Roads, was handing the list off to Talia Chapman, the next person who ran it for a long time. And that's how I got a copy of it, was seeing them do that. I was like, hey, what is that? And that helped me look for more places to do my poetry. And the venue was high up on that list. And so in early 2011, I went to the venue for a first experience, and the venue was packing it out back then. Sometimes people were waiting outside to get inside. Sometimes they were having to expand to another night during the week. And even then, sometimes they were having the main show inside, and then people that didn't think they would get on stage would have a little show on the stage on the side yard. I usually go to things early enough that I got there in time to get on the stage, shaking while reading my thing, and I realized, wow, this place is really awesome, and this kind of feels like a big deal. And I'm sure I didn't give a stellar performance because I was still early on in learning to perform on stage. And so I made sure I went up that night. But when I left that night, I was like, I'm going to be back here. But before I get on the stage again, I'm definitely going to up my game. I'm going to hit a few other stages and come back to this place 5 times better than I am now. But in the meantime, I definitely want to keep coming so I can absorb this and absorb what's happening here as a movement. Like, this is different than any of the other venues I go to. How was I able to express myself? Well, getting on stage and presenting what used to be my little tiny collection of about 30 poems and stuff in an environment where no one was going to criticize and no one was going to judge, made me able to express myself in terms of the skills, but also made me able to express myself in terms of just about everyone here is doing the same thing I am. We're all feeling it out. And we're all uh, doing this in a way that we're going to get to the next level if we keep doing it. I got that feeling that everyone there, whether they're already great or about to be great, this is a step, but definitely a necessary step, and that this place is the place to go to feel like you are elevating. The venue helped me with the idea of elevating by giving so many opportunities. The open mic is weekly. Performers Playground is weekly unless something specific happens. There have been times when George or some others or Dee Dee offered classes, and I took advantage of those whenever I could. And it wasn't just that it was a class and you pay some money and the professor spouts. It wasn't that kind of class. It was someone who can sit not all the way at the front of the room, but across a couple of tables from you, and is willing to show that they're concerned about, what do you want to get out of your talent, and what can we all do together to get you there. Um, and I think that was the hands-on approach that I could respond to best. I did come through a lot of traditional academia and got a lot out of academia, but when it came to harvesting a talent as opposed to a science, the talent had to be that kind of hands-on and that kind of exposure. Um, there's talk in some of the questions you presented about finding the confidence, and I really don't measure myself in terms of whether I have confidence or not. I measure myself in how much have I developed the act, the skill, the writing, um, and somewhere in there is confidence, but I try not to think about the confidence. It's like if I think about it too hard, it'll flutter away. Um, if you're asking about what advice I've gotten at the venue, I have gotten a lot of advice, and it's hard to pick out a single piece of it. Sometimes it's stand straight or emote more or just keep writing, you're going in a good direction. Um, try these words and not those words. There's all kinds of that if you seek it, but it's difficult to point out any one piece of advice or guidance. Um, the venue holds a special place in my heart, both for the reasons I've listed a moment ago, uh, but also because when you seek an opportunity to be more involved in it, there probably is one, and you yourself will find a place where you can start contributing to others. So I participated in Dee Dee Delaney's acting for poets, and in there, yes, he could have let everything flow from him to the students or him to the participants, but there were always times when it was, so what do you think you can offer, and what input can you give to these people who are your peers? Um, I also have gotten into the position where I contribute even to the open mics. I help with the lights and sounds. Um, I try to either help people set a mood that they're looking for. There have been times people requested specific lighting, which is like, yes, they could just get on the page and quote their poems, or is there an atmosphere we can set with the lighting? And some people come up with pre-recorded background music that they want played, so it's my job to help them get that on so that they can perform over it. And when some of the people come back to get their cell phone or whatever I was playing from, sometimes I take the opportunity to give them one or two performance notes from what I was able to observe in the back of the room. Almost universally, I've seen people be grateful for the feedback. And that feels good that that person may not even be on a performance road that I'm on, but felt, that what I had to offer could contribute to their development. There's a question here that doesn't seem like the others, because the others are, what does the venue do for you and what do you do for the venue? And then there's, what is my favorite memory? And I don't know if it's absolutely my favorite single memory, but it's the one that seems to swim to my mind the most. And that is one night, during the open mic, we were going through people's performances, and there was a girl that got up named Ebony who had done poetry before, and she had sung once or twice. And that particular night, she came up and said, I usually do poems for y'all, but I didn't prepare anything. So I was just wondering if I could just meditate with y'all. And you can do just about anything you want in your 4 minutes time. So the answer was, of course, yes. So she sat down, started meditating on the stage, and some people in the audience, not everyone, but some people joined her, quietly meditating away, and everyone was quiet to observe, at least. And I was in the lights and sound room, but came out to walk over to the snack bar and took a moment standing there just enjoying that there was this feeling of a vibe being laid out there. And while I was standing between the sound room and the snack bar, everything in the room felt like it just moved over an inch. Just foomp. It only took about a half a second. And I thought, that could just be me. I'm just responding to this because I meditate, I get into that kind of thing a little bit, but I'm not all really big on the spiritual angle all the time. Certainly not to the depth that some other people are. So I thought, it's just my mind playing a trick. There's a gap in the sound and a gap in things, and so I'm filling it. But then, about a second later, she looked up and said, did y'all feel that? And some people in the crowd also were nodding their heads like, yeah. So it's undeniable, something happened. Even if it was something perceived, it was a mass perception, simultaneous. And I don't know that that could have happened with so little prep at any other place. Like, I've heard of that happening in someone's stage performance, but they usually spend half an hour laying out the vibe for the audience. She got up, she meditated, and we all experienced this thing. And therefore, it's undeniable. I don't think that could have happened the same way somewhere else. We all were in sync because of the way the venue penetrates you. So hopefully that is a good impart of my experience at the venue and some of what it does for me that I think other people share in as well. Thank you for taking this on, Marlon, and I will talk to you soon.
Then to the sentence of the court. You have been arraigned and tried before this court and convicted of one of the highest crimes in criminal code. Your only justification is that you were led by fantasism. If this be true, I pity you. You have my deepest sympathy. I am nevertheless called upon to pass the sentence of the court, that you be taken hence from the jail from where you came, thence to the place of execution, and on Friday next, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., be hung by the neck until you are dead. Dead, dead, and may the Lord have mercy on your soul. Your only hope must be in another world.
What is this darkness? Lord, what do you have me down? Lord, this is Nat. Are you here, Lord? Can you hear me? This is Nat. I killed a serpent. I killed it. Lord, this is your servant. I killed the serpent. I had to do it. You told me, no, don't turn out the lights. Wait, no, don't. There's light here. This light is supposed to make us see. But do we all see the same thing the same way? What do you see when you look at me? What do I see when I look at myself? This is blood. This is their blood. Am I a madman? Am I evil? Am I a butcher or a murderer? I've been called these things because of the events which occurred back there, Southampton County, Virginia, August 1831. There was a slave rebellion. I was the leader. My name is Nat Turner. Last thing I remember was that rope around my neck and the crowd cheering and jeering. And when it came time, when I was suspended in the air, I just let it go. I didn't kick, I didn't fight, I didn't struggle. I just let it go. I didn't want any more of that hateful world, so I let it go. And when the lights went out, it went fast. And then there was that darkness. Darker than anything I've ever known. And now, I'm here. And with this damn blood still in my hands. This is blood. I'm responsible for this blood. I'm responsible for so much blood. Why'd you do it, Nat? Why'd you kill all those people? Why'd you kill Master Travis? He was good to you. You said so yourself. Why'd you kill Missy Whitehead? She was so young and kind and friendly to you. Why'd you do it? So many of my own people killed too. Henry, Hart, Nelson, and Sam. Why'd you do it? Lord, these questions are burning on my brain like this blood is burning on my skin. Is this it, Lord? Am I to burn? Or will you listen to me? Will you hear your servant's plea? Will you listen to how it was, Lord? Will you listen to me? Then afterwards, I will stand before you as my only true judge. These things that happened had to be. It all started in my infancy with my mother. She was carrying me in her belly when she arrived here from Africa. I was swelling inside her when she went from Jamestown to Suffolk, where she was placed on a block and sold into slavery. She became the property of a one Benjamin Turner. Mr. Turner took her from Suffolk to his farm in Jerusalem. That's where I was born. But my mama, she didn't know nothing about being somebody's property. She didn't know anything about being somebody's slave, because she wasn't a slave in Africa. Oh no, she was no slave. She came over here with marks of royalty on her arms and face. Marks which meant she was someone special. Marks of color put under her skin. My mother had come from a place where she was free, but she wasn't free no more. And I guess at some point, as I was growing inside her, she began to understand what being a slave meant. And at some point, I guess, she made it up in her mind that I was not going to be a slave, that her son was meant to be someone special too, and she was not going to have me be born into slavery. Yeah, my mother made up her mind, all right. See, my mama tried to kill me when I was born, but I lived. And everybody knew she'd try it again. They knew she was determined to keep me from being a slave. So Mr. Turner took me away from her and put me with an old slave couple who lived in a little shack near the furthest edge of the farm. They put me there so my mama wouldn't kill me. That's something for a man to realize, something for a man to struggle with, to know that your mama tried to kill you. I know she only wanted what was best for me, and that was to be free. She knew what that was. Here I am, Mama. It's your son, and I am free. Well, I guess you could say that my mama knew that sometimes it takes blood to make you free. I learned that too. I learned it at my grandma's knee. See, the old slave woman I was put with called herself my grandma, but she wasn't my grandma though. My real grandma might have still been in Africa, or she may have been killed trying to escape slavers, or she too may have ended up a slave. I just don't know. All I knew was the love and the instruction and the word of the Lord given to me by the woman who was given to me as a grandmother. I guess you, Lord, gave me this woman to get to know you. Was it you, Lord, who made my mama try to kill me so I'd be put with the old slave lady to get to know your word? Because my mama didn't know it. She didn't know it back in Africa, and she had no way to learn about it before she had me. Was that it, Lord? Yeah, I can see it now. Your hand has been in this since the day I was born. My grandma believed it, believed you knew everything before it happened, that you planned it all and that we was all put down here to do our parts for you. Lord, she rubbed my head and she say, Nat, you gonna be something someday. I can tell. Got these special knots on your head. These are signs that you're gonna do some great things. This is the truth. One day God Almighty is going to use you for something big. So you got to prepare yourself. You got to prepare yourself to do the work of the Lord. So I did prepare. I learned the scriptures from her, and I learned to love and fear the Lord. I also learned that I was someone special and that I had great things to do in His name. She taught me how to pray to you, Lord, how to ask for forgiveness and guidance. And I prayed to you every day that you would show me what you wanted me to do. And as a real young boy, I knew that I would have to learn how to read so that I could read your word for myself. So I learned to read. And everybody was amazed that this little slave boy could do such a thing. In fact, when Master Turner's friends would come over and hear me read, they'd say, Dan, that boy be no good to you as a slave. You might as well turn him on down. I'd hear them say that, and I knew I was never meant to be a slave. And as my mind grew, I also knew no man was ever meant to be a slave. I often wondered why this this evil thing was allowed to exist. When I was a real young boy, I mainly grew up on my grandma's knee. But when I got old enough, I got to spend more time with my mama. I guess they thought I was too big for her to kill, or they thought she had gotten over her craziness. Well, this one time I was playing with some kids near enough for my mama to hear us. I began to tell them stories and they called me a liar. My mama came right over and said that I wasn't lying, that the things I said had happened really did happen. She was kind of spooked though, because the things I spoke about were things that happened a long time ago. And I had no way to know about them except unless if I had special powers to see in the past and maybe into the future. From that day, my mama knew for sure her son was destined. She kept telling me this, and she never, ever, ever tried to kill me again. She knew I was special, and so did the whites. They knew because my mind, my intelligence, my ability to do things and know things beyond what I should. And because of this, the whites treated me different. They gave me special privileges not usually given to a slave. Like, for instance, I was allowed to tinker and experiment. They could see that my mind was restless and inquisitive, so while the other slaves was digging in the dirt, I was studying the dirt, making different castings and making different molds made of the earth. I even tried to make paper and gunpowder, but I didn't get it right. I came close though. I believe that I would have succeeded if I had the right means and materials. I mean, I was always good at making things and fixing things. The whites were always calling, Nat, come on over here and help me fix this. Not because I was their servant, but because they knew they couldn't. I was also given greater freedom of movement to move amongst the whites and the blacks. Now, you might think that the blacks were a little jealous of me, but they weren't. I had become a source of wonder to them because I could read and because reading had come so easy to me. In fact, I don't remember ever being taught the alphabet. I just know one day somebody handed me a book to keep me from crying, and I got the book and opened it up to a page, and I saw some figures on it, and I just knew what they were. I began to call out the names of different letters and spell out the names of different objects. All who witnessed this were in awe, both blacks and whites. All who witnessed this were in awe, both blacks and whites. My people witnessed my mind at work, and they saw my good deeds, and they were astonished. They began to place their confidence in my superior judgment, which they believed came from divine inspiration. They began to seek me out to speak about you in your scriptures. And then there were the young rogues with thievery and mischief on their mind, who also sought me out. They wanted me to help them make their plans, so I helped them because I knew that these young rogues needed to do these things to release their frustrations from being oppressed, from being somebody's property, from being another man's slave. Yeah, I helped the rogues, but not for anything for myself, but I wanted them to get away with it because I knew what would happen to them if they were caught. And I had seen it all before. Young black buck, chained up by his arms, shivering from fear. The strongest white man standing behind him, uncoiling the black serpent, cracking the air with it a few times to increase the fear. And when everybody around was trembling in fear, the lashings would begin. And it wouldn't stop. And it wouldn't stop. And it wouldn't stop. Until the black flesh was ripped and torn, looking like a mass of rivers and streams all flowing red. Yeah, I helped them. And I helped others too who sought me out to teach them about you. I didn't set out to be their teacher. They sought me. I'd just be out in a quiet place, out in nature somewhere, by a stream or under a tree. I go out there so that I can study the scriptures and pray. And then they gather around and wait for me to speak. So I stand and speak the word of the Lord and interpret the meaning for them. The whites would see us gathered in a group, and they would be suspicious about what we was doing, and they start to come closer. And when they came, I'd start reading from the Bible, loudly and slowly. Give respect to those who have rule and dominion over you. Then I'd turn real slow to a scripture like Peter 2:18, and I'd speak real loud. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the froward. The whites would hear it, and they move on. And I continue to speak the word of the Lord to my brethren and teach them like my old grandma had taught me, except I can teach with a greater knowledge, and eventually I would teach with a greater purpose. So, this is how old Nat Turner came to be a preacher, how he gained the respect and influence over his people, and how he was given permission to preach to his people from the whites. Now the whites were a little suspicious about this at first, but they allowed it because I convinced them that I would be a good influence over their slaves. More than once, old masters would come by our meeting places, and all they'd hear was the sound of Nat's voice booming over the crowd. Servants, be subject to your masters. Give all respect to those who have rule and dominion over you. Yeah, I preach those words. When old masters would pass by, I tell them what those words meant. I tell them how they could obey those commands in the Bible for their own benefit. That the Lord didn't put nothing in here that wasn't for their own good. I also told them that showing respect would ease their way with their earthly masters, that they could have respect for these men without losing respect for themselves. I also told them to work harder and be more productive, that if the masters could see I was having a good influence and that they were profiting from my preaching, then they would allow us the freedom to gather. This was a valuable thing for us to have, the ability to gather on our own. I knew early on, Lord, that one day you would show us how to use this privilege, one you showed us how to get. So I continue to preach to my people with the blessings of my earthly master, knowing that one day you, our true master, will someday reveal your plan. And as I preach, I'd hold my Bible to the heavens, and with your words, I would speak and smile. With you, you've given me the knowledge, my first sword. And although it was covered in cracked black leather, it shined brighter still in your wondrous sunlight. So with my new position and growing recognition of my greatness, I knew I'd have to appear the part. I began to avoid mixing in society. I also wrapped myself in mystery and devoted most of the time that I had to fasting and prayer. I found that I was moving away from man and more towards you, Lord. I wanted to know and understand all your words. One scripture in particular called Holy Me. It reads, "Seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all things shall be added unto you." I thought, all things shall be added unto you. All things? I knew that I was seeking the kingdom of heaven, but I was wondering how you would fulfill this promise to me. I sought the answers every day. Once while I was praying and plowing the field, your spirit came to me and said, "Seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all things shall be added unto you." Right then and there, I knew I was focused on the right scripture. And I also knew that the spirit that spoke to me was the same spirit who spoke to the prophets in the desert so long ago.
I knew you showed me the way. I must say that I was astonished by these events. And for the next 2 years, I prayed on it, and the Spirit appeared to me again saying the same words. I then knew I was the intended. I felt I had to share these revelations with my fellow servants in order to prepare them for the great event which was to come. And it was about that time that I was placed with an overseer. How could this come to be? How could Nat Turner, the privileged one, the preacher, the prophet, who burned with the Spirit and the promise of freedom, be placed under the heavy and hateful hands of an overseer? I couldn't bear it, not even the thought of it. So I ran away to the woods and I stayed for 30 days. I would have stayed there too, except the Spirit spoke to me and chastised me for directing myself to the things of this world instead of the kingdom of heaven. The Spirit told me that I should return to the services of my earthly master, so I returned. And almost immediately, I saw a fearsome vision in which white spirits and black spirits were engaged in the war across the heavens. The sun blackened in the sky, the thunder rolled in the heavens, and the blood flowed in the streams. I also heard a voice speak as I heard these things and saw these things, and it said, "Such is your luck. Such you were called to see, and let it come. Rough or smooth, you shall surely bear it." I now knew my fate, that the great battle at hand was coming. So, as much as I could, I withdrew myself from worldly activities so that I could seek the Spirit more fully. And the Spirit came to me with many revelations, and it taught me the elements, the revolution of the planets, the changing of the tides, and the changings of the seasons. I found that I was moving more towards holiness before the great day of judgment. And the Holy Spirit came to me with many revelations and many miracles in the heavens. I prayed to be informed of their meanings. It came when I was laboring in the field and I saw drops of blood on corn, and I saw leaves with hieroglyphic letters and numbers on them. These things that were now being revealed to me here on earth were the same things that the Holy Spirit showed me in the heavens. And the Holy Ghost appeared and said that the serpent was loosened and that Christ was about to lay down his yoke. I then knew that the great day of battle was at hand, that the visions of the battle that I had seen in the heavens would soon be fought down here on earth. These visions left me stunned and wondering when the great day would come. After I recovered my senses, I shared these things with my fellow servants in prayer, and I also told a white man, a Mr. Etheridge Brantley, about my revelations in the great day of the battle. He immediately recognized the wickedness within him. He asked the Spirit to be rid of it, and as soon as those words left his mouth, the Spirit entered in and drove the wickedness out. He had eruptions on his skin, and his pores oozed with blood. But after 9 days of fasting and prayer, Mr. Brantley was healed. And the Spirit appeared and said that we should be baptized just like Christ was. So we headed to the church where the whites worship. We asked them to be baptized, and they slammed the door on us. But Mr. Brantley and I knew that we were going to be healed and we were going to be saved, so we headed down to the water. And those same folks, the folks from the church who so reviled and denied us, followed us to the water where I baptized that white man in the name of the Holy Spirit. The whites were aghast and disgusted, but Mr. Brantley and I knew we were saved, and we rejoiced greatly. Afterwards, I felt empowered by the Lord. I also felt the earth move a bit closer to his judgment day. It was like that on a day in May 1828, where I heard a loud noise from the heavens, and the Spirit appeared to me, and he said that the serpent was loosened.
and that Christ had laid down his yoke, and that I should take it on to fight the mighty serpent. For the time was fast approaching when the first would be the last and the last would be the first. And that's when it hit me. That's when I realized what the great promise in the scripture was. What you would add unto us if we sought your kingdom. You would add unto us, we, the least of this world, would be the first. You would give us our freedom and the means to fight the serpent. Oh, praise you, Lord. My people will soon be free. This revelation was so important and so powerful, I decided to consider from the others and wait for a sign. The sign came in February 1831, where the sun turned black in the sky, just as it had done in the great visions. So I grabbed my most trusted around me, and I told them of the great work that I was to do. I told them that the Holy Spirit commanded me to fight the serpent, killing my enemies with their own weapons. With this as our guide, we made our plans. We would start July 4th, but I fell ill, and the day passed. We decided to wait for another sign. And when that sign came in August, we knew we could wait no longer. So we met near a cave where we roasted a pig and we made our plans. We fortified ourselves with the food and the Spirit of the Lord in preparation to fight the mighty serpent. We made ourselves ready. Early the next morning, we began the battle in the house of Joseph Travis, my earthly master, someone who had been kind to me, but the Lord's work must go on. I had to kill the serpent. All of what I say is true, Lord. All of it. All of it is the truth as I know it. This is how it happened. The visions came, then the sign came. I had to kill the serpent. The Lord spoke. I heard his voice. I had to kill the serpent. I saw the signs. The sun turned black in the middle of the day. The birds stopped singing and flew away. I knew the time was near, so I gathered Henry, Hart, Nelson, and Sam, and we made our plans to kill the serpent. His will was to be done. It was to be done. So just before dawn, on that fateful day, we began. We began to kill the serpent! We killed the serpent in the house of Joseph Travis. We slew the serpent in the house of Francis. We marched on to the houses of Reese, Turner, Whitehead, Bryant, Doyle, Farrell, Waller, Williams, Vaughn, and Nathaniel Francis, where we slew the serpent in the name of God and for the cause of freedom! Can't you see? The serpent had to die for us to be free. It was my destiny. We slew the serpent, but it lived, and it slew me. It made me free. It freed me from its evil self. It all came full circle, can't you see? I did my calling, and the serpent did too. So, is this darkness my eternal reward? Thank you, Lord. Thank you for your sunlight. Thank you.
I'm Madeline Schaus. And if you didn't know, I built this place with my bare hands. So you're welcome. I've been going here since, I think, 2016. And I found the venue because I almost fell for an acting scam. It was get famous quick, give us your $700. And I almost fell for it because, damn it, I wanted it. I wanted my name in lights. But I didn't fall for it, and that night I cried myself to sleep because I realized how much I really wanted to pursue my dreams. And my parents finally got it, because they came in my room and said, what about, maybe you should have a plan B, because acting seemed really hard. And I said, there's no plan B, you don't understand. So he went to work and talked to all his friends and found somebody who knew Marlon. And I am eternally grateful for his Thursday night classes. It was an escape. It was a $5 freaking comedy show sometimes. If you've been there, you know that improvs, they get a little bit wild. I really, really appreciated everything I learned. I came in here kind of sad and shut down, and that class brought me to life and still does. Thank you, James, for keeping that class going for us. Thank you to the venue. If you came here more than a few times, you know that this is a healing presence. I have elevated, I've done festivals, made some awards, and was a zombie on The Walking Dead. That was easy. Thank you to the venue. Yeah. My favorite memory, I think, besides many, many crazy stand-ups and poets, was the roast we did for Marlon. Because if anybody could take some shit talking, I think it's Marlon. And I had the letter M, and I think that stands for Marlon, what does this have to do with acting class? But I love his rants. I've learned so much. There's a bracelet around here. Give it up for the venue.
Sure, yeah.
So if you haven't noticed yet, I'm hosting. So now,
Like, what are we doing here?
we doing that? You don't give me a microphone. I don't think you want that. I don't think you want to give me a microphone. Nope, give me a microphone, I'll just keep talking all day.
How y'all doing? Hello. Hey. Can y'all hear us?
Yes. We hear you.
Yeah. Hello? No?
Hold it down.
I know how to work mics.
Sure.
Something going on.
Hey, what's up?
How y'all doing? Hi. I'm about to sing a song for Marlon's birthday. There you go.
Hey!
Where you go? No, I didn't. All right, so we got a different history. last time I saw Marlon, he was bent over, and I didn't even see you since then. So when I met Marlon, I was like, damn, this guy got it bad. So we used to do, nah, you gotta see my face. I don't mean it like that. I mean it like I mean it. And so I was like, I'm a healer, right? So Marlon lived next door to me. And he used to come over the house and we used to try so much shit. I used to be like, well, let me just pull your leg. Let me see. Just lay right here. We try herbs and spices and all kinds of stuff. Rocks and stones and Reiki and just everything. And nothing worked. Nothing worked. But something worked. And this is my first time seeing Marlon stand up. I'm sorry, like, I mean, I helped a little bit. I give really good massages. I will work the hell out of a knot. Okay? I will get that knot out of you. Like, I got really strong hands. Like, I tried, but I could not get it. But he got it and he's good. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, when I saw it, I thought it was Photoshop. I said, you lying. He was like, no, I'm serious. I said, so you standing all the way up? He said, yeah. Like, Marlon, you don't understand. Like, this is like crazy for me because I was a kid kind of like when I met you. I was like 20 something. And just happy. I'm not going to be able to use it. Hey, man. This is our first time hugging like this, bro. How long you been, Marlon? I helped you move, and then you left. Packed your stuff up and left.
I was in Norfolk. I was at the beach.
Yeah.
You came out there.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
A long time.
You done made hit songs and everything.
Yeah, I got some songs out.
Yeah, hit songs.
Yes.
She did it with clips. No, seriously, I'm not.
Yes. It's gonna be. I'm gonna get a plaque for this, and and I try to tell like some of these artists out here, like it's all about relationships. Business is relationships, and you can't like not be cool with people and expect to get somewhere. Because if they do get there like that, trust me, they did something else. They did all that stuff I said no to. Marlon know all the stories. He knows all the stories. So they did all that stuff I said, hell no, I'm not doing that. I walked out the studio. Straight up. It's just like on the movies. So we doing that. What?
About to say, Marlon, you ain't not.
Virginia. I'm gonna do like a rendition of it. I've been rocking with tracks, Mom, lately. I'm sorry. I've been falling off with this. I've been rocking with tracks like everybody else because that's what goes these days. Virginia. V-I-R-G-I-N-I-A. Are you back? V-I-V-A. Waking up to the morning sun never felt so good to me. Yeah. Even when I had no money or a little bit of food to eat. Yeah. Going to my granny's house to see what she would cook for me. Yeah. Watching floor model TV, prices right, little house on the prairie. Every day was the same routine, grandchildren running in, out of the house, yeah. And grandma yelling so much that she forgot what she was hollering about, yeah. And a game of hide and go seek turned into hide and go get it, yeah. At night when the sign go down, all the projects kids be at the playground. Ain't no sound like the one in my town, like the one in my town. We get down, baby, we get down, get down. Homegrown love is all around, all around. Where I stay, this is where I lay. We get down, it's the VA sway. They like, ooh, child, I dig your style. This is some fire, nightlife, club life, summertime. Some people come to VA to get away. We out here on the East Coast every night, every day. There must be something in the water. They say Virginia is the lovers. You don't have to go if you want to stay in VIRG. Let's go push a rap it, but he not about to rap. Let's go for a ride in the countryside. Hold up, let's change it up. Let's go for a ride through the countryside where the beauty resides. Can I make it to the fish fry? Back to my auntie house in no time. The energy is so high. DJ is so light. To the realest and the endless. To the dreamers and the believers. This is Marlon's night.
Is it King of Scott?
Nope, it's a solid G. Same thing.
King of Scott.
Yup.
Let me tell you this crazy ass story. So my friend Meta,
Yes.
you know Meta. I know
Very
you know
well.
Meta.
That's our homie.
That's how I know you.
Yeah.
So she had posted something, and I'm trying to find the message, and I'm like, who is this brilliant ass singer?
Wow.
And she sent me, and I don't even know you know her. And so she sent me your stuff, and I've been listening to you for like the last 3 months. I didn't know who you were. I swear to you, I'm like, when you saw, I was like, that's the girl King. I couldn't say it wrong. I was like, that's the girl King that told me about. Man, this is beautiful.
Thank you. He would come over the house, and we would be in the dark, and I would be high as hell. And I would plug up the guitar, and he would sit there. I don't know if you came there after this to like just not be in charge and just release, but we would sit. I had lights like this in my house. We would sit there, and he would just listen to me play all night, and I'd be like, Marlon, what you think? He'd be like, that's it. Or he'd be like, I don't know, it needs something different.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my homie, man. I was like,
Meta turned me on to you. Meta turned me on.
I'm about to learn. What's your name?
C-Tree.
C-Tree. I'm
Meta turned me on to
give
you.
you a C. You got the
I
CD
got
poster?
it.
Okay, cool.
I got it.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she plays all strings, tried to get me to play hand drums.
I play a lot of stuff. It's fun here, man.
She used to cuss me out. You ain't cuss. Get the hell out of my
I love you, Marlon.
I love you too. Absolutely.
Aww.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I wish well, somewhat. Oh, am I on now?
Yeah, you look like you're on to me. You on the stage?
Got anybody else coming up?
Is anybody else coming up?
I don't know.
I think I have a couple of people.
What we doing?
I got one. I see one. I see another. There's another back there. I see. We got two more. As soon as you play, I was like, that's the girl.
Is that next June?
Have you discussed that?
Yeah, that's next June. What's up, everybody? So first of all, can we give it up for Marlon for looking like Earl Simmons tonight? If y'all don't know who Earl Simmons is, that's DMX. I think it was the second monologue you did, and you came in like, and I was like, oh shit.
like DMX. But give me my hug first. So, I messed up because I talked to my friend who's been my friend for 11 or 12 years, and I didn't get the email for the interview questions went to my junk. So then when I saw it, that's why I was like, oh, it's probably too late, but I'll say some shit since I know you coming. So, so like I said, I've known Marlon for 11 or 12 years, and we clicked instantly. It was like we were just like he's just me and I'm him. That was just my dude. And we've been through a lot together. He always said, you got me my first award. You got me my first award. That was your talent and your know-how. He taught me how to throw fake punches and how to play blind chicks and stuff. Yeah. You got me my first award. Me and Jamel out there doing that stuff back in the day, and still. And the stuff. And I told you this the other day when we talked last week. The stuff that he taught me as an actress, I then carried over into my career as a poet and as a spoken word artist and even a slam poet. So I have you to thank for all the international ranks I have, the national rank. I have you to thank for that because I always carried it. But forget all that because this is my friend. So I'm gonna tell the story. So I used to live in Portsmouth, right? I'm telling that story. I used to live in Portsmouth and Truxton. So this was probably 2012. I'll just say an injury. I went through something personal. I was physically unable to do a lot of stuff. Marlon, and I needed my grass cut. So it's funny now, look. So Marlon, arthritis was flaring. He has the worst allergies of any human alive. So Marlon showed up to my house with the same overalls he had. I think you had them on from the Michael Myers joints. I think you did it in one of the. It's the same pair, isn't it? I knew it. He had a beekeeper's mask and all this stuff just to come and cut my grass because he knew I couldn't do it. And I had made a call to my friends I'm hurt. I can barely move. And he just showed up, and I remember I looked out the window, and he was just pushing it. His little leg was going, and he was just pushing it. But he did that because that's the type of person he is. That's the type of selflessness that he always displays. And I knew then that I would rock with him forever. I knew that day, that was it. I was like, you know what, he's that type of person. He didn't want nothing from me. He didn't ask for nothing. He didn't say, hey, when you get better, let me slide through. It was nothing like that. He just wanted to be there. But he's that type of person. And when he first said he was moving, I was sad just in the fact that I knew his presence would be missed in Virginia. But I was happy for him because I knew he was getting ready to go, one, pursue his dreams, and two, do big things, and he's done both. And I'm super happy for that. And I don't know, man, I just love you. I can't really put it into words. I love you. If y'all know me, a lot of people here know me. I don't like everybody. I like you. I like you. The Bible says love, so I love everybody. I don't like everybody. I like you. And I always will. Thank you, darling. Oh, you see that ankle there? It's not an ankle monitor. My students love that.
That's my excuse.
Marlon. Hey, man. What's up? First of all, welcome home.
Thank you.
So I've been coming to the venue. I first found this place through a girl I dated back in 2014.
Wow.
And yeah, and I got a story about that, including this man. So I'll explain it. So for some thing is, I'm a pro wrestler. WWE in the ring and all that shit. And I've been doing that since about 2016. And I've been coming here to Marlon's classes, and he has been nothing but helpful. From coming here to learning facial expressions, how to be ecstatic
emotions, all of that from this man has actually gotten me ranked as one of the best African American wrestlers in the world. And like, I have you to thank for that. I couldn't have done that without this man. I couldn't have done it without this space, you know. And I remember one time, me and that girl, we broke up. It hurt my soul. I wanted to, but like, you know, I can't do that. So I still came to this place after we broke up, you know, and because I was like, you know what, it's okay. I'm gonna come here because the arts is something that helps me express myself and it helps me get my emotions out instead of doing anything else reckless, like what I used to do when I was younger. And then, like, when I went to church one time, her cousins was like, hey, she moved out, but she's coming back. So I'm like, bet, I can fix everything. So I'm like, cool, I'm happy, I hear the news, I'm ecstatic. Then I come here, and Marlon is back there in the snack area, right? So I'm like, yo, Marlon, you won't believe what I heard. And he's like, yo, I heard about it too. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, you heard about Aubrey? He's like, yeah, I heard about Aubrey, man. I'm like, I know, bro. I'm excited. He's like, I know, man. It's crazy. I was on Facebook and I saw the sonogram. I'm like, you saw the what? So I'm like, you saw the what? He was like, oh, I thought that. Hold on. He goes on Facebook, right? He's like, from his body motion, everything, he's playing like, I hope it's just a meme she reposted or something like that. And then he looked and it was actually a sonogram. And like, pretty much, she's gonna do a thing and then met somebody else. And, you know, she posted a sonogram after, it was over time. And then I saw it, I looked up, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. And he's just like, Joe, I'm so sorry. No, but you know what? Like, the thing about it is, we talked about it, and he uses that moment as a teachable moment because it definitely hit hard. But the thing is, I understood the assignment when I had to do it at that moment. So the thing is, the lesson I really learned through Marlon is that, like, no matter what life throws at you, all the world's a stage. Keep going. So Marlon, I want to say happy birthday, first of all. Yeah. Scorpio season, hallelujah. We here for the first. Gang, gang, gang. But happy birthday. Be safe, be great, be you. And I love you, big dog. Thank you for everything.
So, good. I can't see, man.
Alright, so yeah, I already spoke and told y'all all that shit earlier. I didn't know that y'all was gonna be able to sit next to the man and talk to the man. Y'all had me talk to y'all, the nigga was behind me and shit. I couldn't even talk to him. So I had to come back up. We going home now. We home now, bro. So I had to come back up, man, and just look at you and just talk to you. And first and foremost, man, like, I ain't even worried about that. I'm talking to you. 100, like, seeing you walk the way you walk, bro. But I can't tell you how happy I am to see you like this, bro.
Yes.
I think I know you longer than anybody in here. And you know what that means to me.
Yeah.
My girl brought black from home for my birthday last month.
Oh, yeah.
And we was talking about you, dog. We was talking about, like, everybody at home was talking about you. And just to see you like this, man, like, I'm choked up, bro, like, cause you know, I know.
You feel me? And I love you, dog. And you my happy birthday. I don't care about all the other shit. Like, I love you. You feel me? My man.
You know what? I did an auction a few minutes ago and asked who wanted to come up.
I really wasn't coming up here. I heard so many good things talked about this knucklehead over here. But I think that I've been knowing him longer than anybody in this room.
I totally forgot, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Where's she at? Let me apologize right now. I apologize for that. You know you're wrong with me.
Marlon is one of my nephews. And when I was living in D.C., he was like a son up there. His father and I always had a run-in because Marlon and his twin brother, I guess about 4 years old, lived across the street from McDonald's and had never been to McDonald's. So I went up his house one day and I told his daddy, I said, I'm taking the boys to McDonald's, we going to breakfast. And from that day forward, they went to McDonald's. I don't know what was wrong with Daddy wasn't taking the McDonald's. That's one of the cheapest breakfasts you could get during that time. I don't know why he wouldn't take them across the street to McDonald's, and he wouldn't allow them to go across the street to McDonald's. But then his daddy's big brother, I told him I'm taking him to breakfast. And we enjoyed ourselves. This is the second time Marlon has surprised me. The first time was back in July when he went to Connecticut to his brother's house. His brother picked me up from the airport, from the train station. And I asked him, I say, Marcus, when you hear from Marlon? Oh, I talked to him the other day. He's doing all right. So when we got to the house, we were sitting there, and who walks in the dining room was Marlon. I was the happiest uncle in the world because I hadn't seen him in a while, and I was glad to see him doing all right. And tonight, he walked as I walked. I can remember when he couldn't walk. I used to feel sorry for him, but I wouldn't tell him. I felt sorry for the way he walked. But Marlon, I love you, son. Everything's just fine. Also, his first cousin from Houston, Texas, is here, Wendy, and my wife Josephine is on.
Yeah.
You know, set life, and you're working on it.
It's early. Yeah, we've been to come back home now. We've been 45 minutes. Slow down. You need that.
No, not yet. Calm down. No.
Smoking like you breathe.
Oh, there's something wrong?
Oh yeah, I forgot about it. It's coming. It's somebody, I don't know, you might know it.
That's cute. Yeah, she deleted my comment off of her. Hey Marlon, I'm just getting off of work, you know, set life, and working on this movie. Just wanted to say I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. It's been you who's given me that confidence that I needed to get hardcore back into the acting game when I've been on such the production side for so many years. And I just really appreciate you for being such a good friend, a mentor, in this game. And, I just love you, and I hope all your dreams and everything that you've always wanted to come true. You've just been there so much for all of us over the years, and just really appreciate you. And excited for you and all your new endeavors, and I just pray all your dreams come true. Love you.
And while we're loading the next one, we just want to say we love you. We love you, guy. But here's the next one.
Simon here. First I want.
We
saw
that already.
Everybody, Jamal, Simon here. First I want to say congrats, Marlon. Everything you're doing.
There's a rerun.
If you can catch his reruns on Netflix, he plays Bernard Upshaw on the Upshaws. Yeah, I trained him on his stage too. Yeah, so he did some pretty good stuff.
He's playing the same one. We showed that one.
Okay, Erica at home, we saw this one too. This is a rerun. Well, she is in Texas, so we're trying to,
She's directly from a whole other state.
yeah, from a whole other state. So we're putting this one on technology.
Oh, wow, we fight through that one. Give me that microphone. We'll fight through that one. We got a couple more folks to say something.
Hi, Dad. Hi.
Wow, it's such a long time. How you doing?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'm just happy to see you guys. I'm sorry, I haven't seen you in a long time. So, the first time I came across the venue, I was like 12, 13, scratch that. Yeah, around that age. And my mom is a poet. Yeah. She's pretty dope. She's a part of the Verbbender Slam team. Woo-woo. And so she was the first person to bring me out here. And I sat maybe in like the front or second row right here. And I remember my first time watching George perform and seeing so many other greats, but I remember like seeing a poet for the first time. Seeing somebody express words in a way that I had never seen before, and that changed my life. It changed my love, my passion, and everything that I wanted to do with my life. It changed my mindset. It changed so much for me. It put so much, like, it just blew my mind. So from that day on, I told my mom, I was like, I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that. I want to do whatever these people are doing. I want it. And she was like, yeah, it's gonna be hard. You gonna do it? You gonna, you know what I'm saying? You gonna learn? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna learn. So the first couple open mics, after that, I came. I read off my iPad, off of notebooks, off of just little stuff I would write. And then I remember meeting Marlon. And Marlon would always talk to me and be like, you should really put that down and look up. He'd be like, look up, that could change a lot for you. And I'd be like, you know what, you're right. And I remember the first time I came to Performance Playground, and him, James Coop, and Godchild were all the coaches and all giving us advice. I remember nobody rode my ass harder than Marlon. Nobody. Like, Marlon was on me about stage presence, technique, pronunciation, eye contact, everything. He nailed it down to a T. It was times I wanted to cry up here because Marlon would be like, no, do it again. Do it again. Say it again. Say the line again. Do you feel it? I don't feel it. Say it again. He was like, "Is really? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't see it." And Marlon just really like turned the whole art form around for me. And then I remember, you know, my mom bringing me to a verb slam for the first time. She was like, "We need slammers. Do you want to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, why not?" I go and I slam, you know, just for the fun of it, and I actually did okay. And I surprised myself. I said, "Oh, okay, all right." And then it became a thing. And, you know, Marlon was really that coach, and not just, you know, as far as poetry went, but he really became that life coach for real. You know, as many of us know, being his friend, he really does have that ability to take you through some rough times. Like, the way that comfort people, bro, that shit hits different. It really does. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, and Marlon really has just always been like a father figure to all of us. That performance playground, me and Bridges, you know, we call him Godchild and James Pops. That's their name. So, they're, you know, they would ride us like some dads too, and always tell us, "Hey, you know." So, but honestly, the things you've done for me and the people around you that you love and that love you is crazy. You're amazing at what you do, at what you teach, and what you love. And, you know, you're just an amazing person. And it really warms my heart to see you pain-free. It really makes me happy. I love that for you.
Trying to come up here and talk to you, but I'm not. I have another video.
My teacher, yo, you know, as an artist, as a man, I have so much respect for this man because Marlon Hargrave, the Thespian King, my Marlon Hargrave, the Thespian King, my big dog, my homie, my coach, my teacher. Yo, you know, as an artist, as a man, I have so much respect for this man because he's just, you know, he accepted me from, you know, for me, and brought so much more out of me that I really never saw. And it was, you know, his way, his style of teaching, was direct, but it was not in it wasn't in a like derogatory or negative way. It was just, it was realness. And we have our culture is so PC now, is you need a coach, you know, that's gonna dig it in there because they could really know what to expect from you. And, you know, if you bring in some piece of shit, he's gonna call you on it. But then he's also gonna like, okay, I'm gonna call you on that bullshit, but let's see how we can make it better and we could grow from there so we don't have to go back. That's where the respect is. That's where the love is, man. Marlon, you're the greatest. You're the best. Holla at your boy.
George?
No, he's right.
What happened?
Oh, you leaving?
No.
Okay. I didn't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Trying to get rid of people. You ready?
And my Tiffany had a choice. Yeah. You ready?
Yes. Before you get too far away, because I'm going
Come
to.
on.
You need this.
Yes.
Oh, I tend to give those to all the legends. He's helping make it to legends.
Period. Legend status. Legend status.
This is my gold jacket?
Yes.
This is my gold jacket?
Yes, this is my gold jacket, doctor.
Period.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I'm ready.
I think I'm ready.
Is that the same one? That's the same guy, ain't it?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know.
That's the same guy.
I feel like it. No, they got the same.
That's the same guy.
There's so many things that I could. Just, but most importantly, just thank you, man. Thank you for thank you for sticking through it with me, man. All these years, I'm still able to call on you. I'm still able to up my frequency and my vibrations because of you, man. I appreciate our brotherhood so much, man. You know that. Happy birthday, bro. The best Scorpio alive. Alright, man. I love you, man. Live it up tonight. Have a blast. Perform. That's what you do.
That's great.
I was waiting for the daughter.
I'm waiting for that.
Yeah, I was waiting. I did all these other ones. You can watch them any other time.
No, this is, you gotta, who called it?
You got to come follow me up here if you want to talk to him.
Alright. Crystal.
What's up, Chris?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marlon. Happy birthday to you. Now let me get out a real rundown. Okay, so Marlon and I came here. I had been writing and performing and doing some things on my own, and my older brother passed away, and he was my critiquer. He was one of my teachers. He was a very intellectual person, though he was not into acting, right? Awesome writer. And so after I lost him, or he transitioned, we'll say, I didn't lose him. He's still here with me. But I needed somewhere to come that was safe for someone that was hurting, safe for someone that was vulnerable, safe for someone that was looking for something more, but being told everywhere around them that, why are you trying to think? Well, you ain't no Spike Lee. What you think you gonna do? Da, 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 da. You know what we hear sometimes from our non-creative peer community, right? And so I came across this place, and I never forget, I started going here when Lucy and Patty were here, and then I stopped for a while, and then I started coming again, and I heard about this performers workshop and had this script, and I was like, I need some help with this. And I never forget the first night I came in, and Marlon was teaching, and I fell in love. Right, I fell in love, because how can you not fall in love with this person, with this spirit? You understand? He's always been there for me. I'm so excited for your healing. I'm so excited for that, because we are in a community, and that's what community is about, healing, and a corporate blessing, and a corporate influence, and corporately being inspired, right? And reaching those goals. And Marlon has been a very, very integral component to my acting life, my writing, my script writing, my directing,
Shucks, I got a couple of voiceover gigs, and I call him like, Marlon, you know I be stuttering and shit, help me out real quick. And he'll be like, just do this, you know. I'll be like, okay, I'm cash out you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And then afterwards I call him back, I'm like, they want me to do 4 more things, you know. So this is real. The love that we have, the community that we have, the sharing that we have is so very real. And again, happy birthday to such an unselfish, stand up, trustworthy. You can put your life in this man's hands and you'll be all right. Right? So I want to say again, I love you, brother. Hola, brother. All right, let me get this mic up before I get to talk about some more stories.
Thank you, Professor Marlon.
Okay. We'll go on to the next thing. Another video pops up. I'm gonna have a problem.
Right now, I just keep seeing reruns of what's happening or something. I don't know.
All right, cool. Doctor, that's it. You did your thing on stage.
Thank you, sir.
You did your thing. Y'all, a lot of y'all haven't seen Marlon perform. Period. Have you? That's what he do.
That was
Also, for me, you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Cooper. They make me do this all the time. I hate coming on stage, but I'm gonna do it today.
I ain't brought you. Shut up.
I'm gonna do it today because they always make me come up here and talk. I don't know. But I'm the owner of the venue now. So, I say that to say the only reason that I keep the doors open is because me and Marlon used to sit in here by ourselves and talk all the trash about all the people that came in the door. And we're like, but this person's so good. I was like, yeah, whatever. He was like, no, they're great. And I'm like, whatever. And then I started to see him. I started to see the people he trained. I see the people that I trained. I see the people that came before and will come after, because I kind of see down the road. And we about to burn it up. We about to burn it up, bro. Him, George, P.D. Delaney, Jeff Hewitt, Snooky, Reverend Rainey.
Reverend Rainey, baby. Give it up.
I mean, I can go through the list of legends. Here, not here, but he's still here. We're going to give him his sweatshirt. Give him his flowers today.
That's right.
For me, I stopped performing for a very long time. And all I did was business. I didn't realize what that was cultivating, but now I know what it is. When I decided to go back on stage, I said, hey, Marlon, you need to clean up a little bit. You need to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Got on stage, started working. He was like, yeah, you good. I was like, okay. Well, I was good. Came back. He said, I'm leaving. I said, I got all these people that want to see your teachings. Yeah, he just left me to the wolves. Left me.
Yeah, he did.
But guess what? I learned in a month everything that was in his head. And I spew that back at them. They think I'm teaching. They getting all that from Marlon. Every book, every drop. All the paper that's behind me, I don't remember nothing I went to school for. Nothing. But everything that Marlon told me, I got it down pat. I'm telling you right now, from walking down the steps backwards, that's what he was doing. He couldn't walk down forward. To jumping in Joe's, the little jump, the Katash guy, the jump. Y'all don't understand. We used to ride around in the car,
Used to have to get in my car, it'd take 5-10 minutes for him to sit down and get in the car. When he left, he said, I'm gonna get Bubba. I said, cool, get Bubba, do what you do. And I send everybody away like that. That's one thing that I've learned throughout the years. I'll keep you here and we'll coddle you and cultivate you and get you, but when it's time to go, get out. Get out the house. But always come back and be back better than you were when you left. And that's what he did. So I appreciate you, I love you. Happy birthday, all that good stuff. If you tell me you got another video, I think I stalled long enough for her to download this. 2 videos.
Yeah, so, 2 videos, that's it. No more. There you go.
That's technology.
Oh, that was.
Oh, that's right. I need the mic. I need the mic.
I'm coming.
You know who that is?
Yeah.
What type of impact you've had on our lives. Mine being the most obvious, 27 years ago when our baby girl was born. That was the biggest impact that you had on my life. And I appreciate you always being there. And then another thing is just seeing you go through the pain and the illness that you've had, the perseverance that you showed to get through all of that, to make your dreams come true, and to watch those come to fruition, and setting a great example for her. So for that, I appreciate you, our friendship throughout the years. And we've not always had that, but in these latter years, it's been one of the best things to have had happen. So today, I wish you a very happy birthday, and I hope all of your dreams come true. Thanks. Happy birthday, Marlon.
Save the best for last.
Hold up, start over.
Got it, don't. How my father impacted my life. Well, for one, he had a daughter, so that's a big impact. Although I thought he was being strict as I was growing up, he actually was being like a protective father, which I now thank him at 18. I finally ended up thanking him because I'm like, I don't know where I would have been at had he not guided me the way that he guided me. Also, through thick and thin, he's just always been there for me, no matter how mad I would get at him, or, no matter what the situation was, he was just always there. And I love him for that, and I've been diagnosed with lupus, so he's also been there guiding me, no matter how busy he was. I just thank him, and I love him for that.
Oh, that's
it.
We're not playing anymore.
That's it. That's it.
Done.
Done.
Period.
That's all
That's
you
it.
got
That's
there.
all.
Now you gotta talk to the biggest.
Okay, I know I hate Mike.
Yep.
Thank everybody for coming out. Thank you. Very.
You got to. One of them.
Actually, can I get the house light, sir?
Tempo.
Thank you, thank you. I didn't expect this, I really didn't. Thank you guys, thank everyone that came out. Thank you, this was my Raising in the Sun crew right here. Really hard. I think if I'm not mistaken, that was the last big thing that happened at Willard before they tore it down, right? It's an elementary school now or something? Yes, Simone and Brittany. And Brittany is actually a professor up at ODU. And yeah, we work. I see Rona back there. Rona has done some amazing work over the years as well. Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Thank you, Teach. Your video did show. It showed on the live stream, so we do thank you. Thank you, CJ. The Shoolies. Yes. Wow. Seen a lot of people here that. Oh, is that a billion in the back? I'm in one of her books, actually. Thank you for. It's under Nico Marsh, right? Isn't it for sale right there? It's not that one? All right, and then I see Calvin, thank you. I thank everyone who actually came up. Nice to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Well, I have so many memories with, so many people in here I have memories with. I don't even know where to start, but George, I owed you that poem. Because I did such a shitty job. No, I felt bad. So I will admit, I tried to prepare and I couldn't. So George asked me to do a feature Friday.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and I got up here and I was trying, and I just couldn't prepare it. I just could not prepare it. The pain of it was enough to where the fatigue just kept settling in. And I do have dyslexia, so I actually read it. And I sucked ass, I did. I really did. So I felt that I owed you that one. I hope that you were shocked and I hope that you liked it.
Yeah, I was just telling Coop, that's the first time I've ever seen somebody perform something I wrote. So it's incredibly humbling that you would choose to include a piece that I wrote into your show, but also seeing you, it's a true story, right? So seeing you in that moment brought me back to that real life moment in my life. You gave me something tonight I can't pay back. It's your birthday and you gave me the gift. Thank
you. You guys have been patient. I'm really not going to hold you.
There's one.
Hold us, man. Hold us.
There's one person that wants to say something when you're done, but one person wants to say something, but that's it.
I didn't think I'd cry so much tonight.
Thank you. It does feel good to be able to walk again.
You look great, man.
Thank everybody. Thank you, Madeline, for snatching me from the airport. I appreciate you. I've been sleeping on the streets. So, in short, I did this show because after I left, I realized that I came here with a broken heart. I had no idea that my heart was shattered because my whole career was gone. You know, I had studied, I'm classically trained, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I came here. I came here because I had a sketch comedy group called Keep the Change. This is where Keena, Cass was in it. Jamel, Lamont, yeah. So we had, we were a little wild. We were wild. So I'll give you how wild. No, I can't do that. I can't say that one.
Please don't.
So yeah, we did have one that was wild. Let's just say it was so wild that everyone took off their church robes and left it on the table and said that they weren't going to do that skit. Yeah, they know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I think we only did like 3 or 4 shows or something like that. But I was looking for a theater home, and I came here again. The Pushers were here, so I came here again just looking to say, hey, I kind of like the Addicts, but I like this. You know, I started off in the Black Box Theater at home, and Patty said, come in, I'm doing some one-act plays, and that's how I met Dee Dee, that's how I met Patty, Lucy, Willie, Yeah, really. Yeah, so, and from that point on, you know, Patty was like, just come and keep doing what you're doing, and, all of this love came out of it. I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm just really trying to keep it all together because of, like, all the love that's here. It's a true love. Like, I have individual stories with every single person in here, individually. I remember you doing our first slam. You know, me and my mom. I remember that? We went to, Sheba, you won that one. You won it. No, Tony won it. She absolutely did. And then they gave it to the girl because of something. I can't remember what it was, but, you won that one.
That quiet storm. Come on.
Yes. So, also what was special to the venue in particular was, I only taught acting at the time. I really didn't teach anything else. So, after we were doing Actors Open Stage for a while, Patty said, well, listen, you know, the poets could probably use some work and the singers and things like that. And I said, okay, well, let's see what's up. Let's bring them up. And I found that I was able to coach way outside of myself. And even in Houston, they may not, Austin, they have more influences there. So the work that I did here allows me to teach the influences there about how to be in the camera, their presence, voice and diction and things like that. I would have never, ever taught people like that anywhere else.
You said influencers?
Influences, yes. And I probably would have never gone outside of myself. So this place helped me find what my purpose was, and that was to teach. It was, you know, acting it's a perk. It's a perk, and if I can do it, I will. But whether I would take an acting job over a teaching job, I understand it's teaching first. Teach first. If you want to live forever, don't be an actor, be a teacher. So that was what this place was for me, and unfortunately I didn't realize that I had healed until I left, but I've been thinking about it pretty much since I've left, and the people, it's always been about the people that are in this room, the people that, you know, I've coached or worked with over the years. That's all it's ever been about, and I just can't thank you guys enough. And I do miss this place. I wish that Virginia would really be that hub. I mean, it's right there. It's just on the edge. But all right, and I'll be back then. I will be back. So I'm in Boston now. It's kind of cool down there. You know, I just got down there, but this was great. I was in Atlanta first. Yeah, it was Atlanta. I went there. I literally had my last party here. It was like in January, and then in February they shut the whole world down. Yeah. So I was in Atlanta for 2 years, just sitting there rotting away like they were. I said, well, I'm not gonna rot anymore. I'm gonna go refruit somewhere else, and that's what I did. I just planted a seed somewhere else. So, but I'm not gonna hold you guys. This will be a night for me to remember for a very long time, and I thank everyone that came out. I thank everyone who's watching on UBSing. UBSing. Without any further ado, thank everyone that's here. God, it's a lot of stories in here. I have one more. I've been holding this together. I'm gonna go home and cry like a baby. I really am, just to see the growth of a lot. God, you guys have grown so much. So much. I mean, I remember Dave when he didn't have 5 minutes.
So there go the chief.
Yes, the chief.
My mic on. Oh yeah. What's up,
Yes. What's up?
Look, I ain't gonna keep it all long. I had a long speech prepared for you, but of course I got really trying to get everybody else's stuff up there, so I ain't gonna do my video, but nigga, I send you.
Yes, Erica sent me here. Love you, love you, love you.
Yeah, I was actually saving class for last, but I'm not gonna be able to say it. I'm gonna say, I love you, around people, I love you, kids. A lot of people understand, I believe, that it's something is beyond and what I did. You are not only are you a good friend, but you love people unconditionally. And you've been blessed in this lifetime to be able to master hope. And most people can't even master that. So, I think the elders love you, the old being a friend. For always inspiring you. When you keep your left this, there's a great woman. And I appreciate that. And I definitely do not want to do that. But, Marlon, he's a free spirit. I always have my belief that he is the person that I say, Marlon, I could die. What time you doing? And I say, well, let's go to the moon. He's like, shit, I'm good on you. Everything that you can let in a friend, mentor, artist, he really been in life, show me what goes down, what goes not go down, look out for this, look out for that. And this is very blessed. And explain it, and you can explain it, and you know that I love you, and you know my life.
Yes, love you too. Love you. I have to thank her again. We were going to stream this live, and we couldn't figure out how to do it. And we were sitting in her office, and she played me a recording. She played me the message that she left James, and I was just sitting there like, wow. I had no idea that she bought the ticket. She put all of this together from Texas, guys. I mean, we worked tirelessly on this thing, and believe it or not, all of what you guys saw was really a lot of her brainchild. I was just a performer, you know. Erica was one of the first people that I met here. I think a little bit before I met y'all, it was a Music for Life. I don't know if you guys know Calvin Hill, Gloria Como. You guys don't know them. Well, they gave me my first job. They gave Erica her first job as a stage manager. Erica's been a stage manager for the sketch comedy group, like almost everything that I would want a stage manager for. I brought her on, and this was the executive producer of A Raisin in the Sun. You know, she is fantastic. She spent like, y'all are gonna not believe this, but she spent $60,000 on A Raisin in the Sun. Advertising, paying the cast, paying for the building, paying for the rights. So I have to thank her because she keeps me rolling. She doesn't take shit from me either. So you know, we just if I'm not on my game, she's quick to tell me. But just the trust and the admiration, and you know, we're working on some other things now. So this was just the beginning. This was kind of scratching the surface of it. Yeah, we're coming back with something much bigger, much bolder, a little bit bolder than this one. So I thank you, Erica, from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Thank you for helping me make this night happen as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Carl Katas up at the last minute. Thank you. Dave just came through. Dave has a job. Like, he was running all over the place when he came here, set things up, ran out, came back, ran out. Thank you, James, for thank you for continuing my baby, man. Like Actors Open Stage and Performance Playground was very important to me, and I still brag that that's something that's been going on. Like, I want to be legendary, like George. that listen, a lot of people know that the old heads know about the other people who started the open mics, but it's George. He's all I've known. From day one, all I've known is George. All I've known is this dude, and James too. Like, George will open his joint. We never close on Monday. Never on Monday, regardless if it fell on Christmas, regardless if it fell on whatever holidays, he stayed open because we understood that people needed this place. And a holiday, you know, pain doesn't take a damn holiday. It just doesn't. So I commend you for what you do here and keeping the doors open. I mean, let's be real. Without George, the doors are not open. Open mic carries this joint. It always has. Even when I only had 5 students, open mic carried its place. It paid the bills for a lot of years and still does. So definitely that goes to you and James, and Dee Dee too, rest, oh man, I miss you, Dee Dee. And James too, so as you guys know, that he is the official owner of the venue now. Just something special about James, Patty was adamant about the venue, like this has been years in the making, maybe 4 or 5 years. And she came and she said, listen, I want somebody who is going to, when we leave this, somebody who's going to add on to what we have developed here. We don't want it to close down. We don't want it to become something else. We want to keep the venue. And I think James was and still was the only person that they considered. And of course, he ended up being the right person for the job. So, he also, when I was homeless or about to be homeless, he managed to find a crib for me all around Norfolk, man, all around here. But I had a place to stay. I was close enough to walk if I needed to. It took about a half an hour right on Colonial. But this it's a special place. Norfolk is a special place for me, and the people out here, you guys are special. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else? Thank you again, Erica. Thank you for, thanks my other peoples who didn't speak. Still, I got nothing but love. And look at Sir William. He just saying, hey, what's up? Whatever. Hey, I got the hey. All right. I'm out on that note then. Thank you, Calvin. I see you taking pictures. Thank you, thank you. Thank everybody. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Marlon Hargrave, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a birthday card over at this table near the front, if you feel so obliged.
I saw him exposed there, so find out what size this is. I got like actually so like 125 right there.
with Virginia Arts or Tyler Arts Outreach. Okay. I'm doing like these ghost tours now and whatever. But I'm doing whatever. I'm making use of the form. So yeah, I'm still doing shit. I do everything. I know you do. Yeah. And I'm more about the live performance thing. Yeah. I like that more than, I don't like, I'd love to be on a sitcom, but like film and TV, no.
About to do that, and I'm about to make sure that's we good for tonight. So that's gonna go all the way through.
That's right, cause y'all got some parties going on.
For real, that's what I know you're right. That's what makes me say. I get to the door, I'm like, y'all was good together. That's right to that.
You too, man. Love you too, man. This is a family affair. It felt good.
I should be saying it's gonna be later, but I'm afraid when the kids still getting I want to scare the kids. So I love doing scare the kids,
Man, what you should do, I mean, you could obviously come to the party Saturday, but on Monday, is when we do a haunted house. So bring the kids, we'll scare the fuck out of them. Madeline's gonna be there scaring people, me, Steph Love.
Can I get in?
And scare folks? Okay, we'll be there at 5. I'll find you a spot. If you really want to do it, I'll find you a spot. Wear all black, and I'll find you a mask.
There you go.
I got plenty of masks. And I'll find you somewhere to hide.
That sounds
you will love it.
Oh, I will love it.
And I'll tell you what, when you come over on Friday for the party, I'll give you a tour of the haunted house so you can see what we're working with.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's legit. Like,
I know that's what I believe. I believe. That's a fact. My kids ain't little no more though, so they gotta go. I got they're like 17, 18.
Oh, they too cool for it.
Yeah. So they probably won't go.
Right.
My daughter may, but I doubt it. But I'll scare other people's kids.
Last year we saw like 250, 300 people. No, like our line wraps around the whole neighborhood. People come from everywhere. We got a website, people know about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. That is
Alright, save my eyes. Trying to make my eyes. Yes, I want some. Yeah, I got a couple.
It was around in my day, but I don't know. I never get it. the great thing about Instagram is whenever you post on Instagram, it goes straight to Facebook, so you're doing two at once. So she told me a story about how she goes to this candy land in her bed when I'm brushing her hair, and it's like full of like letters that are made out of candy, you know. So it's basically a letter about, a book about telly hair, candy, and letters, and like it's like a song, like sort of how the vowels are certain candy, and saying about.
Saturday's the party so we're scaring people on Monday. Yeah. Got you. Getting drunk on Saturday. Got you. Okay. Got you. Yeah. So I was good for Monday. It was Saturday. It was later. But yeah. Okay. I never want to be there. You gonna go like stress. Oh heck yeah.
Only problem with that. Only problem with that, I might be private.
Okay.
So it's your bit.
No, you're not. Shoes on a boy.
We have 6 minutes.
I'm not feeling too better about that.
No, I'm good where I'm at. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, that's fine. I just started TikTok on my phone, so that's hard. Okay, and then Norfolk would be the best place to be in. Like downtown area, 21st Street area. Oh yeah, we're I remember somebody named something like that. Okay, so that sounds good. Now I know. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sounds good. Alright, appreciate you. Yes.
Watch out real quick. 3 pointers from there.
I remember. Damn, I was trying to give him some credit. He over here now playing his shots. He made some rookie and effort.
The NBA has really let go.
Listen, teach the owner of the Nike swoosh is not pleased, okay? He said someone call Nike because this is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Oh, I see. You actually had a lot of interference. You had.
Oh, you had a whole lot of interference. Yeah. Her hip was right there, so I really didn't have the whole basket. You know what I'm saying? I only had like 1/8 of the basket. You know what I'm saying?
I get it now.
Thank you for helping me underthrow.
All right, I'm gonna grab me a water truck.
Was good.
So what now?
What's good?
Really?
How's your daughter?